Doing a Merlot from Simi Valley. What? You want me
It's
to do
not
that
from
again?
Simi Valley.
Oh. Is it Simi or Simi?
Simi.
Simi?
Simi?
Simi? As always, we do not condone drinking, especially full bottles of wine at this time. We're taking little samples, little sips, enjoying just tasting the flavors of it, letting you guys know what's up, and that's it.
Why don't you tell them what we got today? Super alcohol, Dudette, Kelly.
Okay, today we are enjoying a nice Merlot. This happens to be Michael's favorite Merlot at this time. The brand we have going on is Simi, comes from Sonoma County. This Merlot is packed with plum and black cherry flavors with exotic spice and vanilla oak elements.
Here's the question. Why don't... You're a white girl. You... It's true. You are a white wine drinker. You do not really enjoy red wines quite as much. Why do you not like reds in general?
I think because the taste lingers too long in my mouth.
Okay.
Like, I like that whites are a bit more like crisp and to the point, rather versus when I drink a red wine, it like sits there. But I will say, if we do like cheese pairings with it, it definitely makes me change my mind about red wine. But I couldn't just drink it without it.
And that's a big thing that I want to talk about really quick. When I first started drinking, I was 21, and I did my first wine tasting. It was with food, and they gave us the wine. We tried the wine, then we ate the food, then we tried the wine again. And it was such a noticeable difference in flavor the second time you tried the wine. It was one of those eye-opening experiences, and I think to have that so early in my journey of trying and experiencing, it really set me off on the right foot to make this journey a lot more adventurous and fun. So a couple quick facts on this. Sonoma County, Dudette, Kelly mentioned that. I usually buy this for about $15 to $16, so it's not a really expensive bottle of wine. And here's why I like Merlots. Because they are not as popular as Cabernets, as Cab Sauves, as some people like to call them if you're a wine snob. No, you know, on the channel, I kind of go out of my way to find kind of unique things, and I don't go with the popular brands. And with cabs, over the last few years, they've become so popular that whenever you go to a wine place, a wine bar, the cabs outnumber almost all different wines.
So, what I've noticed since, going wine tasting recently is the kind of red wines are kind of like muted in flavor.
Here's the things with reds, that if you are a big time wine drinker, you're gonna find more complexity in reds because it's harder to kind of pick out those nuances in the flavor. But to somebody who doesn't maybe have as much of a taste profile for everything, it is gonna just seem to all blend together more. And usually with the whites, you won't have as much complexity as with the reds. With the reds, you can have pepper, you can have oak, you can have fruit, you can have all different types of things. Another thing that I want to talk about, I think there's another big reason that I like Merlots more than cabs. With the Merlots, they're a little more fruit forward, and as you know, I have from the channel a little bit of a sweet tooth, and so you have a lot of fruit, you have a lot of plum, a lot of cherry. You'll also not have as much tannins as a Cabernet. Tannins would cause the bitterness, and it would dry your mouth out. When you have the fruit, it's a little bit smoother as well, so that's also the tannins. But like a Cabernet will last longer, you'll have the flavor longer. So again, what you want to do with wine, give it a smell, and then when you're drinking it, what you want to do is you want to take a small sip first, not a long sip. You want to take a really small sip. And if you can, breathe some air into it through your mouth. That'll get the flavors that'll aerate the wine or bring out some of the flavors. And then you kind of want to do a little swishy swish.
Swishy swish.
Swishy swish.
Okay, I must say this is far better than I remember it being. I think it's because I always have a sip of my white wine first, and then I try yours, and I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
But I'm pleasantly surprised.
It's very smooth. It's not bitter. To me, If anything, this is a little more maybe on the acidic side. So do you think it tastes more tart or more bitter? To me, it tastes more tart.
Yeah, I was going to say initially, yeah.
So I think that there's a little more acidity to this, which again, that's what we already had said previously, that all Merlots usually have less tannins, which means the acid level will be a little higher, because usually it's either one or the other. You have more tannins or you have more acids. And Merlots usually don't have as much tannins.
Okay, so what would you give it? I would give it a 4, and I don't like red wines.
Ooh, winner. I'd go 4.25. I mean, right at that level, 4.25. I think this is a great wine. I think especially if you found the right thing to pair it with, you would be just sitting pretty. Again, another thing is most Merlots are not usually sipped by themselves. They're usually food pairing wines. Cabernets, because of the complexity, people like doing them by themselves so they can try and find all those different flavors. Merlots, because they're a little more straightforward in terms of fruit, some spice, maybe some oak, maybe a little bit of wood, but there's not as much complexity to it. You would definitely usually pair this more, but this you could even drink on its own.
Yeah.
Simi,
yeah.
We like it. We like it a lot. We should try some of their other stuff.
Now at this point in the channel, we've kind of done the range spectrum: spirits, beer, wines. Tell us what you're thinking. Let us know other things you want to see. Do you like certain things better? We want to hear from you.
I'm going to be fancy with my pinky up. Super alcohol dudes.